on the ballot for June 7th. And that $28 would go directly to maintaining and operating and providing recreation programs, which the other tax did not do, did not pay for recreation programs. So this one will add that feature to it where we can actually fund recreation programs out of that assessment. The same price, $28. We looked at the council prior to setting up approving the tax measure to be put on the ballot. The council had set up a blue ribbon committee, and that blue ribbon committee was made up of residents and constituents from the Woldemar community. And it was the blue ribbon committee that came up with a number of ideas to find ways to keep the parks open. And what was ultimately recommended to the council was a funding source that included $28 assessment to keep the parks open as far as maintaining and providing park operations and recreation programs. And then it had another feature on top of that, which was an additional $17, which would be used to bond, in other words, get a loan so we could go ahead and build a park on the east side of the freeway. And it also had another component in it which would have exempted senior citizens over 62 years of age and older. And through the public hearing process, with City Council listening to all the concerns and comments from the residents, and it was decided to forego the $17 component and the senior component or exemption at this time, and just go forward directly with the $28 maintenance and operations component of for this tax. So for $28, what does that pay for? That will pay to keep the parks open, the landscaping, utilities, the maintenance, the graffiti, cleaning that's done here, keep the parks open year-round, and it will also provide for some of the recreational services that we can offer to enhance the quality of life in the city of Woldemar. Does not have the opportunity to expand on the park system because there isn't enough funding, monies in there to do that. So we will have to look at other sources, for other sources, contributions, dedications, donations, grants, or some other types of funding source if we want to expand the parks and add additional park lands. Growth also will bring with it the opportunity, because opportunity to have additional park lands, because with development, developers are required to contribute to the park system. So that will help out also. But it's going to push it downstream. It's going to take a while before we can get additional park lands. Whereas the bond measure that was proposed, we would have had a park within a year and a half to 2 years. So the $28 that's being proposed, we'll keep it like this and enhance upon the services that are provided. And that election will be on June 7th, a couple months from now. And at this time, we have a microphone up here, and we'd like to give you the opportunity to come forward and ask any questions of myself. I'm staff, so I'm more of the technical person. But we have the council here also, willing to respond to all the questions and concerns that you may have regarding this tax measure. And I'll turn it over to who has a question. Veronica. If you could just identify yourself.
Hi, I'm Veronica Langley, and I live in Woldemar. I was on Facebook the other day and talking about saving our parks, and someone said, is that $28 per parcel or per lot? So I went.
Well, there's a lot of parcels in the city. Oh, no. It's per parcel.
Okay, and that's what I had thought. So
And
that
it
makes a huge
depends upon-
difference for someone who has a parcel that has a number of lots on it.
But typically, a parcel is the same as a lot. It depends upon her definition of a lot, but it is per parcel.
Okay, thank you.
And it depends upon the zoning of the parcel, whether it be commercial, industrial, residential, or nonprofit organizations such as churches or schools. I mean, they are exempt from property taxes, so they would not be taxed in this situation. Yes, it is per parcel. Parcels, those of us with the residents, our residence is a parcel. So it'll be $28 per residential parcel. Other questions? Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Don Dado. I live on the east side of the freeway. And we were concerned about why you didn't have the two options for voting in this election coming up, where we can extend another park on the east side of the freeway. I'm 67 years old. I'll be glad to pay more than what you're asking for to get a park out there for our children to play in. And I don't have any children out there. So I want to know why we didn't have a choice just now, just for the 28 to keep the parks that are here open and not look at the future for the other side of the freeway.
It's a good question, and that's one that was discussed at length during the council meetings, during the public hearing. There was two components to the recommended ballot measure. The one component was the tax $28 just to pay for the operation and maintenance of all the parks in the city, east side or west side. And the other component was a bond measure that would allow us to go out and get a loan basically for $17 per parcel, get a loan and go out and build that park on the east side. And if you put them on separately, if the item to build the park was approved, the bond measure, the $17 ballot measure, if that was approved, that'd be great. But if the other side wasn't approved, the $28 for maintenance, we'd be stuck with what we're facing now. We would have a beautiful park built within a year and a half to 2 years, but no money over here to pay to maintain it. So that's why we couldn't separate the two.
Okay, I understand there's been a group of people that have been adverse to that bond issue.
Yes.
Well, who are they? Are they just a couple of individuals? Do they have families? Is this a big group? Because I don't agree with it.
What about the land issue?
I appreciate your enthusiasm with that, but there was, given the economic times and the hardships a lot of us are facing here, foreclosures, the loss of jobs. I mean, Inland Empire has really suffered tremendously during this recessionary period. And given that thought, with the additional $17, it was just, the input that was received, we felt, now is probably just not the best time to do that. And let's go for the 20, let's keep open what we have, and maybe we can work something out on the east side. The county has some property over there that maybe if we can demonstrate to them that we can keep this stuff open, maybe they'll help us on the east side do something with their properties. And if we can show them that we can afford to maintain, a park over there, maybe there's an opportunity there.
So there's still a possibility down the line that they would put another park on the east side of the freeway.
Exactly.
Well, most of the people I've talked to are all for it. We're happy to take the money. That's not an issue.
I can only address my way of thinking and how I thought about it and why I voted the way that I did. All of us want parks on the east side. But with the economic times the way they were, Governor Brown's going to have a bunch of tax extensions on that same ballot. We're running out of time. We have no money this year. The money we have to keep the parks open this year has been done at fundraisers, selling lemonade, bowling, whatever we could do to raise some money to keep the parks open. A lot of groups have come together to put their money in. And we felt we have to get 2/3. That's a tough number to get. And 2/3 of the people don't live on the east side right now. But we've looked at other options. The property that Gary mentioned, there's also a park, a 5-acre private park right now on the east side that maybe we can talk to the homeowners there. Maybe they would reduce their homeowners' fees and we'd kick in the money to maintain and take care of it. So we're looking at every avenue we can to get a park on the east side. That is absolutely at the top of our list. But we didn't want to sink the whole ship to do that at this time. Maybe next year or the year after. And we're going to be looking at ways continually with the acreage that the county had promised us that we don't have. We don't have the acreage we thought we had over there. So we are working towards that, and that was my thought and why I voted the way I voted, to get it done now, keep these open, don't lose them, and then work on that side.
Okay, thank you very much.
He asked a direct question.
Gary?
It was a great question.